For this demonstration, we use a simple setup for holographic reconstruction. The assembly consists of a focusable beam expander laser module, a rotating polarizer with an attached aperture, the LETO-720 SLM, and a magnetic display mount with a TMS-001 active thermal management system. Start the HOLOEYE SLM pattern generator software. Now click the File menu and select CGH Computation from Image File. Open the Signals folder and select an image. We use the HOLOEYE's logo. Click Open. At the following menu, you can change the size of the output image and set the size of the calculated hologram tile. For now, we leave it as it is and click OK. The following window shows a preview of the calculated hologram, which is automatically addressed to the SLM. As we use the Spatial light modulator in default configuration, the reconstruction does not look optimal at this point. To improve the output, we use the HOLOEYE SLM Configuration Manager software. Connect the USB connector of the SLM with an USB port of your computer. Now connect the USB output of the Thermal Management System driver box to another USB port of the computer. Start the LETO-720 Configuration Manager software. The software is now searching for a connected HOLOEYE SLM and the connected thermal management system. Once the SLM is found, click OK. If more than one SLM is connected to the computer, select the correct one at the top selection box and click OK. The software is now reading out the current configuration of the connected LETO-720 SLM device. At the Thermal Management System tab, click the Regulate Display Temperature checkbox. Set the target display temperature to 60 degrees to ensure the SLM display is slightly heated up to ensure fastest response times. Now select the Geometry tab at the top. With this option, you can adjust the output image in horizontal and vertical direction. Click the Load from File button at the bottom left configuration box. At the supplied USB flash drive, navigate to the Configs folder and select the folder for your SLM version. Select the default configuration for LETO-720 SLM and click Open. Click Yes to make your configuration persistent. The Configuration Manager software is now loading the new configuration files. This may take a few seconds. Now select the Color Lookup Table tab. Click the Load from File button. At the Configs folder at the USB flash drive, at the folder 60 degrees, you find subfolders for different wavelengths. Select the proper wavelength and select the file for linear 2π. Note the voltages mentioned at the end of the file name. Now click Open. At the Voltages tab, adjust the voltage settings according to the values mentioned at the lookup table file we just loaded. To save the configuration to the SLM, click on Save to SLM or Save to File if you want to save the configuration as a preset. The SLM is now configured for the 240 Hz mode. To use the 720 Hz mode, you have to adjust the configuration. Click on Load from File at the bottom left again and select the 720 Hz configuration file from the Configs folder and click Open. Make the new configuration persistent by clicking Yes. The 720 Hz mode makes use of the RGB color channels of the input image. To use the 720 Hz mode, you have to stack your images or functions into the 3 color channels of an image. This can be done automatically, for example, using the Python script, which you find at the USB flash drive. In our setup, we use a slightly converging beam to have a sharp focus at the diffraction plane. If the reconstructed image looks blurry, make sure the beam is properly focused. To use the SLM for phase-only modulation, the incident polarization has to be along the director axis of the LC molecules. For most HOLOEYE SLMs, it is along the long display axis. Any other incident polarization would lead to undesired cross-modulation between phase and amplitude modulation. Some HOLOEYE SLMs have an aperture on the display. If you illuminate the aperture, you get a visible noise at the 0th order. Please avoid illuminating the aperture. The SLM is now properly configured.